we have to talk to our kids and reach our kids where they are, not where we want them to be. They're not going to sit down and have in-person conversations because nobody's really geared that way anymore. It doesn't cost you extra to use the phone to send a message of love, of gratitude, and inspiration. It's a very simple thing to do, and it's a very consistent habit to build. But you have to have zero expectations that they're going to answer you back. But I guarantee you they're going to read it.
Welcome to This Empty Nest Life. Join Jay Ramsden as he leads you on a transformative journey through the uncharted seas of midlife and empty nesting. If you're ready to embark on this new adventure and redefine your future, you're in the right place. Here's your host, the Empty Nest Coach, Jay Ramsden.
Hey there, my empty nest friends. One of the trickiest parts of empty nesting, especially in the early stages, is managing how we communicate with our kids. We want to stay connected while also giving them the room to create independence, all while trying to let them know, hey, we're thinking about you and care how you're doing. It's a delicate balance between their needs and ours. Well, today's guest just might have found the secret sauce. Tammy Cohen, author of Text Messages to My Sons, A Guide to Using Mobile Devices to Connect and Communicate Deeply with Your Kids, is here in the studio, and we're going to tackle this conversation head on. Tammy, welcome to This Empty Nest Life.
Jay, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I am so excited that you're here, especially since we tried and failed once before because of technical difficulties, which I think is great. Like that kind of feeds into this. How do we use mobile devices to connect and communicate with our kids deeply, especially once they kind of launch a little bit? But you're on a mission to have parents connect with their kids in a positive way using devices. Why? How did that come to be?
Well, you know what it is? We have to talk to our kids and reach our kids where they are, not where we want them to be. And the thing is that everybody's, the nature of the beast is everybody is on a phone. Where's the phone? It's in your hand. It's in your back pocket. It's in your bag. That's just where they are. They're not going to sit down and have in-person conversations because nobody's really geared that way anymore. And I hate to say it, I see the differences like with Gen Z and they're not really conversational. It's very hard for them to have those kind of skill sets. It's not like how when we were growing up and we had to sit and have a conversation. You only had 3 channels on a TV and the phone was connected to the wall. Like, where were you going to go with the phone? There was no phone. You're going to talk. That was it. So it's very different now. But the thing is that you can't expect it to be what you want it to be. It has to be an unconditional thing. And I always say, not only would you use a phone because that's what you have. It doesn't cost you extra to use the phone to send a message of love, of gratitude, and inspiration. It doesn't cost you therapy. It's a very simple thing to do. And it's a very consistent habit to build. But you have to have zero expectations that they're going to answer you back. But I guarantee you they're going to read it.
I love that part. 2 pieces of that. Meet them where they are and have no expectations. And this time of year is a big time for people, for their kids to go off to college. And I see a lot in Facebook groups and in my social feed is like people are saying, I text and I don't get anything back and I feel horrible about that, etc. How did you kind of overcome that, or how do you overcome that in the book to help people understand it's okay?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just realized the reason I'm doing this is not about they don't have to validate me that I'm a good mom. They don't have to answer because when you put an expectation on something, then you stop doing it when it doesn't meet your expectation. And the point is that you're building a habit here. Okay. You're sending that message to them regardless because it's unconditional. It's unconditional love. It's not dependent on what they think or say, or if they send you an emoji back. It's not about it's not a judgment of what kind of parent you are. What I find is that you have to also understand, your kid is not the same kid that lived at home and went to high school. They're leaving the home. They're living somewhere else a good part of the year. They're experiencing a whole new thing, and you've got to be okay with that because the independence does change with every milestone. Think about it. Lower school to middle school, they're getting more independent. Yes, they're at home in high school. They're getting more independent. But yeah, you still have to do the reminder and the reprimand and the commands and things like that. But once you're leaving the nest, they're going and living somewhere else. And you can't do that kind of same communication with them. You kind of have to change it up. and let them be, because they're discovering a whole new environment now. They're engaging in a whole other thing right now. And it's very different than home. So you got to be cool with that. But you got to be supportive, because it is going to be confusing for them. And always remember that you are the pillar at the end of the day. You are their pillar, whether they tell you that or not. You are.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. The pillar, almost like that. You're their foundation. You're the place they come back to, even if they're not coming back to you constantly over and over and over again. And I think the point is great, Tammy, is like it's a new experience for them. They're finding their way, right? I think about how overwhelming that is to go to a new place, meet lots of people,
exactly,
figure out a new schedule, and I got to respond to mom and or dad like regularly.
Yeah, and it's so new. I mean, think about you have to, your schedule is what you make it, and registering and getting all that, everything, and learning at campus and meeting all these new people. It's very, very daunting in a lot of ways. It's a lot. It's like a grown-up moving to a completely new city, nobody, you don't know where you're going. You don't know where anything really is that well. And now your parents is telling you, you haven't spoken to me every day. You know what I mean? You're not texting me. You're not doing this. It's you got to let them assimilate a little bit, but let them know that every day you're sending the message of, you got this. Like, I believe in you. I'm here for you. And if anything isn't making sense to you, I'm here for you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just be there. Be that beacon. That's it.
I love that, because it's almost like a love note on a fridge, where you may get more extended conversation because you happen to be in the kitchen or whatever when they come by to see it. But this is different. But also parents struggle with it. Why do you think that is?
Parents struggle with which part?
With
living at home?
Not the living at home. Parents struggle with communicating with their kids when they're away because of the expectations. Why do you think they struggle with that? Yeah.
Yeah, because we live in a society where you expect, there's an expectation that something's going to happen. If you do something, something's going to happen. And we're still very much a society that relies on external validation. Like, my 100%. Kids, I don't expect my kids to tell me, "Mommy, I love you. Mommy, you're the best." I have 3 sons. It's not happening. They're not. Well, what? They're going to send me like hearts and flowers and things. It's not realistic. But let me tell you something. They wrote the foreword to the book. Why did they write the foreword to the book? Because they recognized. They said, knowing that somebody loves you enough, cares about you enough to take every day to send you, like, Monday through Friday, tell you something, to share wisdom, to be grateful for you. It's everything. It makes you bulletproof. And that's what it's really about. Like I said, I think people have to just let go of whatever they think they need to hear back from their kid and just let it go, because that's not what it's about. It's really not. Because once a kid knows there's an expectation on them, you just change the whole dynamic of what this is for.
Yeah, 100%. But for the people who are kind of listening, I can hear divorce. Tammy's a tough New Yorker. This is not the same. I'm not the same. What do you say to that person?
I'm a mom. Yeah. I'm a mom. Of course, I'm not different than anybody else. And the truth of the matter is that this is my experience. Okay, I wrote the book based on experience. And why? How did I start doing this? People say to me, like, why do you do this? Like, where did it come from? So basically it came from, and I found it very interesting, during the pandemic, when the first pandemic happened, because I'm recently I've been coming out of my own personal pandemic. But when the first pandemic happened, we were shut down and I had a lot of time to think, and I realized I wasn't happy. I wasn't okay. I wasn't very good. I had a lot of these beliefs and I didn't realize what was going through my head. I had a lot of saboteurs. I was working. I was traveling a lot, but I wasn't happy. And I knew I wasn't even in the best frame of mind as a parent raising children. And I said, okay, now I'm not working and I want to work on myself. So Jay, I started, jumping into Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenza. I was reading nonstop. I was in Mind Valley. I was in every course and program. I hired coaches. Because you know what I realized? Like, nobody learns about mindset. They don't teach gratitude, appreciation,
Oh,
accountability. They
absolutely
don't
no.
any of this stuff in school. And how our minds work and how we feel things and what happens to us and from being as a child and generational discord and the soul. Like there's no education about this. I said, this stuff is fascinating. And who did I want to share it with? My sons. I wanted to share with them what I'm learning because I found it fascinating. And my concern was that they didn't have any of that they didn't know and they didn't. And as a kid, I wanted to also be accountable to them and explain some of my behaviors, that was not them. And I went into this whole thing and one thing led into another and it was so heart-centered and just this love and gratitude and sharing wisdom. Jay, there's so many brilliant people who've walked the earth the last couple hundred years that our kids, they don't have exposure to. And I was like, this is amazing. These people took years to figure things out and they wrote a book and I could read that book and share it. So a lot of the text messages have quotes and things from like leaders and things that I never thought about. I never actually thought about before. So it was a great time of engagement. And you know what? They liked it. They liked seeing me learning. They liked seeing me expanding myself. They liked that I was trying. They saw me as a human being.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good, Tammy. They saw you as a human being who has success and failures or winnings and learnings, whatever you want to call it. But that you were being an example of kind of what's possible too. Now, when did you start? When did you start this? When the boys were high school, college? When did you start?
So my youngest was still in college, but my older two were out of college. So my point was, it's like I started this learning when I was 58 years old. And if you would have told me 5 years ago, oh, you're going to be an author, you're going to be a podcaster, you're going to find a woman's business network, you're going to expand your business, I would have looked at you like you were high because I would be like, what are you talking about? The thing is that, I don't know, I just like, it just happened and it just came to me. And every minute that I went through, whatever I was going through, it was opening up so many doorways in my head. And I just felt like I needed to do this with them. I talk about when I was doing it with my kids and they were like, wow, that's amazing. You should put that in a book. And I never thought about it. I didn't start do this to write a book. I just did this because I wanted to share with my kids. And it was sharing. You see the beginning texts are really more about sharing. And then you see where I'm just like, how much I love them, how much they mean. Like it just started coming out. And I tell people they go, well, I don't know what to text. I don't know what to do. Like, how do you start this? I don't have time. And I'm like, listen, you have 960 minutes in a week between Monday and Friday that you're awake. You can find 10 minutes to send a text, a meaningful text. And you know what? If you don't have kids, it's okay. Do you have a friend who you need to connect to? You have a niece and nephew, grandparents do with grandchildren. There's somebody who always needs it because we're humans and we need that. We need to know somebody cares about us. We need to know somebody's there for us. That's really very simple. And I realized it for myself and I realized it for my kids too. It's not enough to give the one off. I love you. I love you. I tell everybody I love them. I'm from New York. I'm like, hey, I love you. I love you. But really, when you're consistent, James Clear, when you're consistent and you do it every day, it's different than just doing a one-off.
Yeah, and I like too that it's different, right? It's not, hey, how you doing? Or open-ended questions. It's more, it's just something to think about. Right? This is what I was thinking about today. I just want to share it with you because it was so powerful for me. Right. And
they're
so,
like, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Do the boys respond back to them or they just kind of just consume them and it doesn't matter?
Each kid is different. And it's so funny because, like I said, I started this with my boy. It's never too late to start something. It's never too late to
agree. Totally agree.
It doesn't matter. I have parents who say to me, my kids, they have a phone. I'm like, yeah, start with them, but send them message that are appropriate for each age because they're like the messages I have to 25 at the time and 30-year-olds are not the same as a message you send to a middle school, It's all based on that. But as far as responding, each kid is different. I have one son who responds all the time with, I love you. And another son will go like here and there will be love you. One son will send me an emoji once in a while. It's not consistent, not every day, but one son is more consistent than the others.
Than the other ones.
But it's okay. Like sometimes I'll get great message. Like once in a blue moon, I'll get great message. Oh, my favorite is that was really long.
That was too much. It was
Like,
really long.
why? Are you kidding? Are you nuts? Because like I'll get into it. And I'm just pouring out my heart and all this stuff that I learned. And they're just like, what?
Yeah, why, Mom? Why? Uncertain ones, I get it.
And they'll be like, "Oh, that was nice." Yeah, Tony Robbins said that. I'm glad you thought that was unbelievable.
Yeah. Awesome, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah.
Do you? This is what I've been curious about since you and I decided to have a conversation. Do you send the same quote to each kid, or is it different for each one?
Mostly, what I make sure is I don't do like in a group, but I have a guy who his son. He told me my son is 8 months old. So I put the message in my group with my family. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I love that you're putting a message in every day in your family I love that. But with my kids, I send each one individually, but it's pretty much the same message. Once in a while, I might change some things and make it a little bit more to that son. But overall, it's the same, pretty much the same message to each kid, and they each get it separately. And I don't, it's not like where I'm writing, oh, my son, their names. Everything is Good Morning Sunshine. Because I love that song, Good Morning Sunshine. You are my sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good morning or good afternoon sunshine. And I always sign off with my love for them and hearts. I put the heart emojis. So the Good Morning Sunshine, there's a sunshine emoji, every message. And then at the end, when I'm telling them how I love them across universes and lifetimes and stuff like that, I have the hearts there. But otherwise, the rest of it is just the text that I'm writing. Yeah, there's no other emojis. I don't use any other.
Yeah, you just boom, done. And what I like about it too is it's not, you talk to them and they're going through something and trying to impart wisdom. In the moment, it's just constant. And there's a consistency to it.
But a lot of times, like sharing wisdom, or a lot of my messages have resilience themes to it because it's so important. Like today, you have that, yes, nothing is overnight, that it's okay to fail, that life is not trying to hurt you, and that whatever's happening to you is not happening to you, it's happening for you, which is what I learned. But you look at life as your friend, as your best friend, you understand it's not trying to hurt you, trying to help you, it's giving you gifts. You learn from these things. You wind up pivoting. When you look at it in a positive way, I'm going to learn from this. It's going to make me stronger. Okay. I'm going off the main road of life. I'm going into this side road for a reason. What am I going to get out of this? Okay. You will pivot faster. You will come through things. If you're going to look at life, I always try to explain this with them. If you look at life, is it very hard and challenging? Why me? Why is this happening? The life is going to be sucked out of you. It's all how you want to look at it, but there is no failure. And that was very important for me to share with them because we live in a world, a lot's going on. They have a phone, right? As much as it's great, we're more connected than ever, but people are more disconnected because you also have algorithms and you have social media that's doing the exact opposite of anything empowering. It's actually stealing your focus, giving you misinformation and indoctrination. We're Jewish. You can imagine this whole world of the circle of concern. And that's what I try to give them, that steady moment that there's somebody there that is almost the opposite voice of everything else that's around them and that they're hearing. They need that because the energy of love and gratitude and that inspiration and that sharing of real wisdom, okay? That is a very high frequency vibrating energy. When I send that message, Jay, I feel like I release this energy that's up here, very high. And then when they're reading it, they're releasing that energy. And what is violence and hate? What is all that? It's negative. It's low energy. So the more that parents send out this energy and send out this love, and that kid's reading it and they're feeling it, regardless of if they're answering or not. That energy is really going to overpower that negative energy. That's my belief. Okay. And we all know energy exists. Like it's 100% there's energy. We're made of energy. This world is energy. And I really feel we can each that's my mission, is get a movement of parents who really want to reach out, or anybody you want to reach out to connect to. The more connected we are, the more love we share, and empathy and compassion, we really can make a difference in the energy of this world.
I can imagine people listening be like, oh my God, Tammy's so enlightened. She's read a bunch, like she's passing it on her kids. That's not me. Like, I'm not that well read. I don't know what to share with my kids. I don't even know how to go about it. Like, how did you even get started?
So
remember back, like to day one, was like, how did you do that?
So, okay, here's the thing. That's why this book, right? It's the first book, by the way. This is my second book. This is the expanded edition because I learned so much after writing the first book. I went back in. So this book, actually, the second book, A Guide to Using Mobile Devices to Connect and Communicate with Your Kids, has 4 years of text messages. It has more chapters. It has the intro and the epilogue for every chapter, the why of it. And each chapter is a category of messages like gratitude, appreciation, mindfulness, and accountability, leadership and focus, discipline and determination. There's all these different categories, right? And take the book, take a message that you like a category from, and tweak it. I guarantee you, once you build the habit and you do 10 minutes every day, you just send a message. I guarantee you won't need the book. Because you know what's going to happen? You become more present. When you make that message happen every day, you start noticing everything around you. You will walk down the street and you will see something that you never saw before, and you will share it with your kids. I used to see to my kids, like, my God, there's a sign. I just saw it. It said, God loves you. And I was like, that's a message. Like, you see things and it becomes very heart-centered, and you start noticing things and you start sharing from your heart. And it's very simple. It's not hard. That's why I put the book out there, because you can go and you don't have to be a genius to start this. You have all these messages already written. Tweak them.
Yeah. Makes it easy. Yeah. How do you get consistent with it? Because I know probably parents struggle with that. It's it's paramount to what you're talking about. It's like consistency is so important, but I know parents probably struggle with that consistency. You're saying Monday through Friday. How did you build that muscle? What does that look like? Share a little bit about that.
That's a great question. Yeah. So I was reading James Clear. And I was always, if I read a book and I liked it, I would just like Amazon it over to my kids. Now it's audiobooks. Like, nobody even wants to read. It has to be an audiobook, Jay.
Exactly.
Like, I love reading. It's like, I don't have time to read. Okay. I'm like, I'm a reader, and my kids were readers growing up, and now it's audiobook. But how do you start? It's like anything else. You have to make time to do it. How do you make the time to go to the gym? How do you make the time to do anything?
That's a great point. Yeah, great point.
Like I say to people, if you don't have, it's 10 minutes. If you don't have 10 minutes any time of the day, then there's something with your time that you have to look at, because it's not more than that. And we have 900, like I break it down. Like I said, there's 960 minutes that you're awake from Monday to Friday. So what is 10 minutes like a day? It's not crazy. So people, it's like anything else. It's building a muscle, and you have to you do other things that you schedule into the day. So just think about it and do it, and say, I'm going to do this because that's how I'm going to reach my kid. Because what is depression, which a lot of our kids are dealing with. Okay. I speak with parenting coaches quite a bit. I'm always interested in what they have to say. It's fascinating to me. And the 18 to 30-year-old group is like coaches who are seeing, they're getting a lot of requests from parents with kids of that age. And you're thinking, are you kidding? That's an adult. Kid's an adult, right? You're thinking, oh, like coaching is for little kids. No. There's a big demand for coaches of parents to 18 to 30-year-old kids, because they're feeling having problems with addiction, disconnection, depression. Why? We're more connected than ever, right? You can reach anybody anywhere at any time. What's going on? So there's something going on, and that's where, okay, we have to make that difference. We have to reach out to them and let them feel connected. And Simon Sinek says it really great, actually. When somebody's going through something really, really horrible, they really only need 8 minutes of your time in total. 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
When somebody's going through hell can make all the difference. And it's true. Like, it's not about the amount of time. It's the fact that you're there day in and day out, letting them know that they matter. That's it.
It's a consistent, and they're your kids, right? You don't have 10 minutes a day for your kids.
Yeah,
Even
they
if
matter.
they don't live with you, they matter. Yeah, I think that's such an important point. What's the feedback been from parents who have read your book, they've implemented the strategies and skills? I'm sure they reach out to you. What do you hear from them?
Wow. Happiness that they're doing it. It works. Like, I haven't had anybody I've had once in a while I'll hear, oh, like my son said, what are you doing? I don't want you to do this. Don't do this. Like, why are you messaging? And I'm like, who cares? Doesn't matter if you watch or not, because I don't care what age you are. Okay. Every person doesn't matter what age you are. They want to know that their parent loved them and thought they were worthy, thought they were good, smart. Okay. Everybody, and all of your saboteurs come from not feeling loved, not feeling worthy, not feeling safe when you were little. Really, it's what it is.
100%.
Yeah. So think about that. Like, that's really the key. Okay. And my attitude is that people have been telling me that beautiful things. Like, one father told me he started doing it with his son in middle school, and his son was having behavioral issues at school. And I was so surprised. I was so taken back. And he said, I started messaging him every day on his phone, and it stopped. He just wanted me to see him.
Yeah. Well, basic human nature is wanting to be seen.
And
I was understood. Yeah.
I was in tears. I have grandparents doing with their teenage grandchildren, and their grandchildren go off to college, people living longer. And and you know what's interesting is that the grandchild is very receptive to the grandparent.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The power or authoritarian piece isn't really there, so that makes sense.
And they're like, look how cool my grandma is. She's sending me these great messages. I have dads who have told me it's been amazing for them, divorced dads, especially who, there's a situation. It's not always this unconscious coupling, amicable moment happening, and they can't see the kid. They can't see their kids. It's very tenuous. And they're like just saying, I sent a message that I love you. I want to be with you. And it's especially for dads, like, a lot of them didn't grow up and they weren't the nurturer. Like, there wasn't something that was discussed. Like, you just sit there and tell your kid, I love you. But they can in a text. They can say these things, and it's much easier for them. And I just, like, the feedback has just been beautiful. I've had people tell me, I wish my mother told me once she loved me, which broke my heart. I've had people say to me, I wish you were my mother, which really broke my heart. Like, you just see people, and they're just everybody wants the same thing. Really, it's simple. You want to feel loved. You want to feel like you matter.
That's it. That's the human experience.
Yeah.
Right
and
there.
Safety. And you want to feel safe. Like, you do want safety. So you have a parent who's, I'm here from you. That's his safety. I love you. You matter. You're extraordinary. What more do you need?
How do you balance what you're talking about with people who say, oh, the phone's the worst thing ever, and it's actually making families like fall apart, or they're, the addiction piece of it. But you believe it makes it it fosters stronger family relationships if you use it the way you're suggesting.
Yes. I think I think the problem is that the cat's out of the bag. The phone isn't going away. And we're just getting more and more into tech. I mean, look at AI, like, everything is just changing. Do you know, like, 40% of Gen Z said they would have a relationship with an AI? Like a relationship.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Yeah. I was reading about that in the newspaper, and I was just like, wow. What are you going to do? Pretend it doesn't exist? It's here. Now, I read Stolen Focus by Johann Hari, and I just thought it blew my mind, to tell you the truth. And what the algorithms are designed to do and their purpose. and they're learning you and you respond to the train wreck, guess what? You're going to get a lot of train wreck. Okay. And that's what kids are responding to. They're looking at it. You can't help it. You look at the horrible things, right? People are human nature. They're just like, that's what grabs their attention. So yeah, like how do you have to be a beacon of light. There's a movement for parents now that they're giving their kids phones that have no internet access, or phones that only will accept the call from the parent or a message from the parent, right? And I think that's brilliant. But look what you can do with that phone. You can start with your kid. It's the message in the lunchbox. I remember as a kid.
There it is. There it is. That's the thing I was looking for. It's the message not on the fridge, it's the message in the lunchbox. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like the kid who would get the message in lunchbox. I never got one. And I look at those kids and I think they were lucky. It didn't matter if they had a Twinkie. They would have a message in the lunchbox. And I would be like, it's the luckiest kid. They got a message. They got a note from their mom. And it was always hearts and love you. And I just thought, and I was a kid, I remember thinking they're the luckiest kids on the planet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Like literally, I was just visiting my parents. My mom and dad are 88 and 86 and helping them kind of like go through boxes and downsize a little bit. And I found a note from my mom to me, brought it home with me. Right. It was something she had written. Like maybe she had written it in a card a long time ago, but she always looked like did draft notes or whatever. So it's her handwritten note. It's like part of a note crafted. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take that with me because it was something she wanted to tell me. It was literally probably, meant for a lunchbox or a birthday card or something like that. So it's so spot on.
And that's what you're going to look at. I know when I move on to the next like life, wherever my next journey, soul journey, what do you think my kids are going to think about what I bought them? What are they going to miss? What are they going to miss from me? They're going to miss the daily message. Do you remember when we had voice? Remember when they used to leave messages on machine back in the day? Yeah. I remember like listening to my mother's message when she passed, like listening to her voice.
Calling it just to hear her. Yeah.
People look at pictures. There's certain things that's what matters. Those are the memories. And that I think is what my kids are going to miss. They'll have the book. They'll have it on their phones, but it's not when there's nothing new after that. That's what they're going to miss.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to miss you, obviously, but also the impact, the information, the guiding light piece, I think is what we miss most about our parents when they pass. And I'm very fortunate mine are still here, but
thank God
it's not going to be for long. I mean, they're 88 and 86, so it's not going to be forever. And I think about like how the information they've imparted to me and how they went through it. But I love this concept of kind of the daily thought out to the kids. What have you?
What it's for me is kids buying the book for their parents.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So surprising, but it makes sense.
That was very surprising.
I want this from you, and I don't know how to tell you. So, boom, there you go.
Surprising. Like for Mother's Day or just a little gift, that surprised me.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself in this journey?
That every message I sent to my kids, I was actually connecting to myself.
Yeah, deep on me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Tell me that. Are you connecting to yourself? How?
Because everything I said to them is really what I was saying to myself, that I didn't know it. Like like I said, I was very disconnected in a lot of ways. I wasn't very happy with myself. And then this year I went through a breast cancer diagnosis. So it was very challenging, and I got the chemo and radiation and surgery and all this stuff. And you know what? I realized that God had me start messaging them. It came full circle because it connected me. When you start sending messages every day like this to your children, you don't realize the ripple effect. You don't realize you start talking to other people. You start talking to community. You start talking to your friends differently. You start sharing that empathy. You start feeling things that you weren't feeling because when you send a love message that you mean it, when you're sending something that you crafted and that you something heart-centered, you start talking to other people that way. I wasn't that person. And then it came full circle and it was rippling out all over the place, but then it came back to me. And then I realized, how could I send them messages about resilience if I'm not practicing resilience?
Yeah, exactly. You got to be Be example of what's possible.
How do I tell them that life gives you gifts if I don't look at this as a gift for me, this breast cancer? Not that I wish it on myself, but what can I learn from this? And you know what was amazing, Jay? I'm going to tell you the most amazing thing, because it was the hardest thing I had to ever do was tell them the diagnosis, because we also had my youngest son had a health issue, and it was just at the same time. Everything was happening at the same time. And it was a lot to go through. And you know what? Like, when I told them, they were in shock, and it was very hard for them. But they said to me, we got this. We're strong. We're the Cohens. And they started messaging me.
Love it. Did you still message them? Through that every day, you still, with everything you were going
I still
through?
have many more messages that didn't make the first 4 years. But like they had the 4 years in this book, but I have another, it's more than a year of messages. Like, I never stop, because it's part of my life. It's part of my day, but like, I just love doing it, because 2 of my sons don't live at home. They moved out. They're working men, 32 and 30, and they live downtown, and I see them Friday nights, but I don't see them during the week. So yeah, of course I'm going to message them. And even my youngest, who still lives at home, he's 25, he's working all day. He leaves in the morning very early. He comes back at night. You think he sits and talks to me and says, "Mom, tell me about your day. I want to hear about my day." He walks in his room. He's like, goodbye.
Bypasses.
They're in their life. You want your kids. It's amazing to me. Like, parents get upset when the kids are independent and they grow up and they're independent and they're out there in their life and they're experiencing and they're working hard, and that they're not paying attention to the parent. They're doing what you raised them to do, to go out there and do it and be independent. So you got to let them be. So how do you keep that door open? You send them a message, because they're reading it. That's all. That's the whole point. That's how you keep the door open. But don't get upset with them for being an independent human being that you raise them to be, to do what they need to do, so they can have a family and go move forward.
Yeah, it's what it comes to mind is like, it's a way to be in their life without being in their life. Yeah. Like, exactly. Right in front of them in their life. Yeah.
And we take our family vacation, and it's great. We hang out, but you know what, Jay? I'll tell you, when something's going down for them, they talk to me.
Yeah.
And because we
left
built
the
that
door
room,
open. Yeah, you left the door open.
Yeah. And when I couldn't get off the couch from chemo, they were doing my errands for me. They were food shopping for me. I don't know. I can't say that they wouldn't have done it if I never messaged them. I don't know. But every day to get that message is, how are you? What do you need? What can I do for you? Okay. That, I believe, really came because we built this like thing where I was there for them and they were able to be there for me. You know, they were my strength and I've been their strength. And it's going to change. We age. As we age, the roles do change. See, it's good to plant the seeds. And you know what? My greatest thing is, I hope they're messaging a friend in need. I hope that they do this with their kids. I hope that they, you know what I mean? Like that Wella Balson, you tell 2 friends and so on, like, you don't,
exactly.
They don't know. Wella
they don't,
Balson.
yeah, they don't. But our people our age don't get the commercial. Yeah.
Yeah. So pass it on. Do that for somebody else. It's a good thing.
So good. So good. Before I let you go, Tammy, I love all this. We're gonna let people know where to find the book, so they can, if they don't know where to start, they start there. Make it easy. But before I let you go, what is your life motto right now with everything that you've been through?
Oh, wow. My life motto is that it's never too late.
Yeah.
Always make a difference.
Love it.
Always do something different also. And you could always learn. And you know what? Like, your kid will really admire you even more when you continue to learn and you continue to evolve. It's always learn, always evolve, and move forward and do it. Do something. Step out of your comfort zone. It's okay. These are all good things. And just do it.
So good. Folks, Text Message to My Sons, a guide to using mobile devices to connect and communicate deeply with your kids, is available pretty much everywhere. We'll put the link in the show notes so you can go and get it. And Tammy, thank you so much for being here. It's such an amazing conversation. I really love what you're bringing to the world.
And also, I'd like to offer your audience I'm going to supply the discount code so that you can buy it at a discount. And we also have, you can supply the audience download where they'll have a couple of the messages in the first chapter where they can see if it's something that they like and they want to go forward with.
Love it. I'll get that.
A little teaser.
A little teaser, a little information. We'll get you a discount.
You can say if it's something you want to go for.
I love that. We'll put it in the show notes, folks, and we'll get it out to you. Tammy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Jay, you know what? You make it easy. Had a good time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you ready to start living and enjoying your empty nest years? If so, head over to jasonramsden.com and click Work With Me to get the conversation started. This Empty Nest Life is a production of Impact One Media, LLC, all rights reserved.